As you can see, the document has been uploaded and this case study is ready now to be posted. Now when I click on assign, this case study gets assigned to all my students out here. So when I click on assign, this case study now is assigned to all my students in my classroom. Now let's see how a student actually views the assignments which I have sent to him. As I said before, that a student can join in the class by taking this particular code, and he can enter this code when he's going to join in the class. Now let me show you as a student. Now the student actually gets into his classroom. So this is basically another email ID as a student which I have created for the training purpose. So there is a student out here. Now student is basically going to join the class, and of course he has the invite code. So using the invite code he will join in the class. So the student clicks on this plus tab, he clicks on join class, and the code which was sent to him, he uses this to join the class. So this is a very simple way by which all your students can actually log in and join the class. If you see here, the student has not joined in the class. As I have said in my earlier session, that the student has only 3 tabs. If you see that as a faculty has a 4th tab which is called as the grade, whereas student will not have that particular tab called as grade. You will see of course his grades as it is being posted, but there is no specific tab for the student. Now student here reads all your posts. If you remember, we had created a post called as welcome to IMC class, and there is a new post which he sees stating that there is a new assignment case study which has been submitted to him. When he goes to the classroom classwork session, you can actually see what is being posted right now. So as a student, he sees there's a case study which has been posted. He clicks on that and he sees that there is an PDF document which has been assigned to him, and he can go click on this document, download this document, save it, and keep it for his reading. So this is how the material section in the classwork works. Now let's look at something called as creating another type of assignment. Let's say I want to create one more type of assignment, but here let's say it is something called as session exercise. I will say in instructions that all questions are mandatory. Total marks 15. Some instructions you can give. Now what is that which I want to send out here? Let's say I create a Google Doc. What is the system doing is it is creating a Google Doc. As I said earlier, whatever documents you're creating out here get saved in your Google Drive for that particular classroom. Now what is this doc going to do? Now let's say I want to post some 3 subjective questions. So what will I do? Now let me go to my desktop, because I have in my digital marketing section, I have some sort of a test material. So I will use that for this demo purpose. So let's say that I have 3 sets of questions which I want to ask the students based on the first session which I have covered. So here there are three questions which I want to ask. So let's say I pick up one question which is saying that what is the difference between e-commerce and what is the difference between digital marketing and so on and so forth. Let me paste this question out here. So I have pasted a question for the student out here, and after that you can paste as much as question as you want, and I close this document. By closing this document, the document has been saved in my classroom. This document will be assigned to all my students. As you see out here, this document will be assigned to all my students. And also this document now will have an option to what I'm going to do with this document. So instead of saying that students can view this file, let me say Student, make a copy to each student. So making a copy for each student means that every student will be assigned the same document, but then it will carry the name of the student in the title document. Now let me go back to this untitled document. Give a title name to this document. So from where can I give a title name? On the top left hand side out here, this is the area where you can edit the title name of the document. Let us call it as M1 test. So this title name is, the document is M1 test, and I just close this. You see here a Google document. This gets saved in my Google Classroom. I close this document and I say make copy for each student, and I click on assign. Earlier we sent a PDF document where we said student can only view this file. In this case I have said assign to each student. Now let's go to the student's Google Classroom and see how it looks like. Now the student logs into his classroom. Now the student is a part of the IMC class. The student will log into the IMC class. And here you see that the post has been created for the student, which mentions that a new sessions exercise has been assigned to the student. The student will click on to this new session assignment. So what the student sees here is that he sees that there's some session exercise has been assigned to him, carries certain marks, and now this is the document which he has to answer. In some cases, when you're asking student to submit a presentation, then the student can also attach his presentation as a part of the assignment. And there is a button which is called as turn in, which means that as soon as the student completes his assignment, he has to come here and click on turn in. Turn in means that I'm submitting my assignment. So let me click on this document. So when the student clicks on the document, the Google Doc opens up. Right now, if you see here, this Google Doc, which has been sent to each student, as I mentioned that the Google Doc automatically assigns the name to each student. If you see here, earlier the title document was only M1 test, but for the student, it is naming it as Raman Bala M1 test. So if it's another student called as Siddharth, then the document for the Siddharth will open up as Siddharth-M1 test. So that's a beautiful feature out here. Now the student will go and enter the difference between e-commerce. So he's answering this, he keeps answering this, and so on and so forth. These are the answers that the student is writing, blah blah blah. He finishes his answers, and once he finishes answers, he can click on turn in from here. But in some cases, I don't know whether this turn in works, right? But to be on safe side, he can close the document, go to his classroom out here, and click on turn in. When he clicks on turn in, it says that you're going to submit your session's work. He clicks on turn in. After turning in, the system now has submitted the document. Though the system has not logged the document, why? Because he can still go back and work on his document if required. Now, whether you want to allow the student to rework on the document or you want the document to be logged, there are certain features which can be used, maybe which is not a part of this session. But if the student again wants to unsubmit it, the request actually goes to the faculty, which will allow him to rework on the document. So that itself works something like a permission system. The student has submitted his document. Now let's go back to the teachers section out here. So as the student keeps submitting their document, if you see here, there is a post which keeps alerting the professor that how many documents have you assigned and how many people have turned it. In the earlier case, this was just a view only file, so there is no reason for anyone to turn it. But in the sessions exercise, which was a M1 test, you see that a student has already turned in, which means that this particular student has completed the assignment and he has submitted his work. Now, as a faculty, you can actually now go and view this assignment. When I click on view the assignment, on the left hand side you see a list of all the students who have submitted their sheets, and also the list of students who have not submitted. On the right hand side, as a thumbnail, you will see each and every student. Something interesting which I found out, that when I have given an assignment and as the assignment is going on and I click on the thumbnail, actually I can see the student typing in the assignment. It's a very interesting feature which I have noticed in this particular classwork assignment. Having said that, let's click on this thumbnail and see what the document and the student has submitted as a part of his answers. Excuse me. Once you see these answers, there are two things which you can do. You can just straight away go and give a mark based on what are the answers he has given, or you can actually give some sort of a comment as a professor. You can say that, please elaborate, please explain, or something like that. So whatever comments you are inserting in the document actually comes in this green dotted lines. In addition to that, you can have a private comment which says that need more details. Now you post this, and there is something called as return. Now what does this return means? That once you have done some comments and you've given some gradings, you can actually return this document, which means inform the student that there is some sort of a comments which has been put into your answer sheet, as well as the marks which you have got. In case you don't want to do that, you can just close this tab. By closing this tab, you can just close this tab, because the session exercise is getting over, so I don't really want to do anything with this. I just close this tab without even returning this answer sheet to the student. But what happens on my top is that on my application is it actually shows me what are the marks which I have assigned to the student. Now the interesting part here is I can see all the marks which I have assigned to the student, plus I have not returned this answer sheet to them. That is the reason why it has still kept the answer sheets in a draft mode. You don't have to worry, but at least on the left hand side you will have a list of all the students. You also will know that what are the marks you have given, and this can be automatically transferred into your Excel mark sheet and whatever is that. So this completes the second part of the classwork. In the next session, I'll take you through the multiple choice questions. Thank you.